because you've been trained this since you were a young kid. So let us, to start, let's see if I can, oh, I'm out of battery. There we go. If we do it that way. Okay, so let's start right now. Let's ground into this present moment. So we're going to breathe deeply. And take that big deep breath in through your nose, and slowly out. We invite in Mother Earth, and we ask her to ground us in this present moment. We invite in Michael the Archangel, and we ask him to put a bubble of blue light around each one of us. And we ask that only love and light is entered into our lives. And we invite in Raphael, the Archangel of Healing. And we invite Raphael to heal every cell of our body, every thought, every emotion, every worry. To begin, let us take a deep breath in and slowly release. In and release. In and release. Feel that air entering your nose. Breathe in. Fill your belly and your lungs. And out. And one more. Take this big deep breath in. Make this the largest breath. Sip in a little bit more. And release. How do you guys feel?
Great.
Do you guys feel, doesn't that feel good? You know, healing and your breath are interconnected. But we're going to go. We're going to talk about more. So, on your handout that you have, and you don't have to fill this out right now, but what I'd like you to think about right now, in this current present space that you're invited into, is what do you currently know about yourself right now? Just think about it in that space. If you want, you can write down each one of them on the back if you want. But take a look at each one of these as this space. But be honest with yourself. Right now, we are in a very safe space. And so the conscious mind is not under fear, even though we choose fear 95% of the time within our lives. If I asked you all right now.
What we think about right now?
Yeah, in those categories. So by your hobbies, what do you think about your hobbies? What do you think about your thoughts, your habits, your expectations, your emotions, and those powerful I am statements that we make for ourselves? Just what stream of consciousness writing. Whatever thought you have is the right thought for you in that moment. There is no right or wrong answer. This is about you in this beautiful, powerful moment. Take a couple of minutes here. All right, we'll give it a couple more minutes.
Hey Matt, what's neuroplasticity?
Neuroplasticity is the connection in your brain that rewires itself. You're going to learn a little bit about it today. Essentially, neuroplasticity is why you walked, why you're thinking right now, why you're able to move your pen. All right, so let's come back together. You can write, you can keep writing. You're going to have more chances to really come into these spaces. Like, what do you think about yourself in those moments, in those categories? There is no right or wrong. There just is as we enter this beautiful space. Okay. So, who am I? You guys, I just joined this community. You guys are absolutely incredible. I'm so happy to be here. And so, my name is Matt Rowe. I am a master neuroplastician. You might think in your mind right now, what the hell is that? I don't know either. And so, just kind of, it's what they designated me with. And so, really what it is that power to reconnect the mind to the muscle. And it's done with our thoughts, what we think we be. And that's what becomes within our lives. I'm also, I'm an Ironman. I'm an all-American triathlete in the past. I have a big history. And so also I'm a meditation practitioner. I'm a Reiki practitioner. And what else did I put up there? I'm an author. Some people have, asked me for my book. Anybody who wants my book, just ask me. I'll give it to you. I'll sign a copy. And so Belief to Heal was an actually very beautiful book that led me through a very dark time in my life. So, but I'm just a guy. That's it. We all have this power within us for everything. So let's start. So I have a couple of questions. Before we begin, I got to ask you some true or false questions. Kind of see where your guys are at in this moment. Remember, there's no right or wrong answer. So true or false? If a nerve pathway, or poorly put up there without the spaces, if a nerve pathway is damaged by a lesion or injury, that function is permanently lost.
False.
That is 100% false. You know, doctors 15 years ago didn't know that. And they would tell their patients, oh, I'm so sorry. You know what they tell MS patients? I'm sorry because of MS. That's it. That's all you got. That's wrong. So, let me go one more. Okay, the answer is false. Very beautifully said. And so, if at this point, that neuroplasticity shows that where you're at right now doesn't have to be, you can slowly begin rewiring this section. Now you could say, oh, I tried that for a month. It doesn't work. Do you know the nerve only grows 1 millimeter a day? So it's patience and consistency. So your nervous system adapts to what you tell it. That nervous system, think of it as lazy. It just wants to take the easiest route every time. And so often what it does is it goes to the route that's damaged and says, that's it doesn't work anymore. So we have that requirement to reroute that path, and that is neuroplasticity, the nerves that fire together or the nerves that wire together. Let me ask, what's that?
Heb's axis.
You said it very beautifully. And Heb was really the very founding father of this, and they all thought he was crazy. I have many more stories of that kind of stuff. So, true or false? The safest approach as you age or after a diagnosis is to rest more and avoid activities. 100% false. So that is 100% false. You have to remember, what we tell our brain, what our brain tells our body to do, my body is telling me to stand right here. Even though they told me in 2017 that'd be impossible. So really, unless we train the mind to train the body, we are never going to be who we wish to be in those spaces. So next question. Come on. Okay, mindset work and physical training. These should be run separately.
Nope.
100% false. Yes?
Can I just say, as a musician, as a piano player, there have been many, many times when I didn't feel like I was prepared, and I practiced my fingers on the like that carpet or on the floor or on a table instead of the piano, because my mind, it's the connection between my
Right.
It works.
100%. That is a great, great example. Yes, absolutely. They actually have studies, and they didn't bring this study into it, but they took a group of 30 people, took 10 of them, and said, work on the strength of your finger, pushing down this weight. Then they took 10 people. They said, don't push the weight, just think within your mind that you're pushing the weight. And then 10 people, they did nothing. So of the 1 to 10 that physically pushed that weight over a period of time, they increased their strength by 33% to that finger. Yes?
I had a realization here where we were singing, I was looking at the words, and I just started falling apart with my
It
mouth
doesn't come.
because I was
He
trying
has
to
to
read
come up.
and sing at the same time. As soon as
Right.
I closed my eyes.
We have to do this for the people who watch the replay.
Okay. As soon as I closed my eyes, I could sing without any interruption.
Right.
Oh.
Okay, it's a room mic. Okay, so then I'll finish that study that I didn't plan on telling today, but the ones that train their mind increase the strength in their finger by 27%. So what did it? Was it pushing that finger, or was it the mind connecting the body? So, true or false? I'm gonna go one more. The battery's running dead in this, so this is fun. Oh, where's it gonna go? Seb, can you advance the slide? Oh, yeah, I'm gonna stop touching it. Okay, so that answer is false, that mind-to-body connection. Seb, can you advance it one more? Okay, true or false? You need to feel better before you can start training or making progress. 100% false. Seb, can you go to the next one? All right. This is the biggest trap we see when someone is diagnosed or as they age. They're basically, their doctor goes, you know what? Take it easy. Get your affairs in order. You'll be okay. And that is the biggest trap that we step into because we stop connecting our mind to that muscle. And if it doesn't get connected anymore, nerves that don't fire together don't wire together. And we walk down a very dangerous path. So your action every day triggers that connection even further. So go ahead into the next one, Seb. Okay, true or false? If diet, supplements, or positive thinking alone haven't worked, you haven't found the right one yet. It's 100% false. Go ahead into the next one. Yes, this is false because what happens is the brain actually works off of fragmentation. It thrives off of it. If we fragment and say, oh, this didn't work, and then we stop doing it, oh man, you know how many times I've heard, oh, I've meditated. I meditated for a month. Those Dr. Joe meditations, was really committed to it for a month, and it just didn't work. So they stopped. So the mind's like, oh, okay, you don't need that one anymore, and just stops producing it. Even though, remember, that nerve grows 1 millimeter a day. For me to run Ironman, it took 3.5 years to connect that spine to my big toe on the left side. So with all this, go ahead and slide to the next one. Thank you. So after years of decline, the body loses its ability to rebuild strength and function. Go ahead and go to the next one. This is incorrect. This is false. Your cells regenerate. You have 50 trillion cells in your body, and they're always mass duplicating. If we give it the right system, those cells will, but they're just copy machines. It'd be like your cells going over to the copy maker and just hitting the button and it just makes copies. All they know, so it copies off of the old cell. So if we constantly tell the old cell, oh, this isn't gonna work, then you're just basically building more cells of it not working. This isn't bad, this is just the way it is. This is biology. So when we take a look at all of this, that adaptation comes in again, and the body adapts. Go to the next slide. Okay, the key to recovery is reconnecting your mind and your body through an integrated system. This is true. So what happens is, unless we give it a plan or a system to follow, it's not going to do anything. Remember what I said earlier? Your nervous system, your central nervous system, is lazy. It is the laziest thing out there. It only does exactly what you tell it to do. Like what Phyllis said so beautifully. She tells her mind tells her body, play these keys in this rhythm and in this way. And I bet you could jump on a piano right now with no sheet music and play me a song.
No, the no sheet music's a deal breaker for me.
Really?
Yeah,
I would challenge you. How long you been playing, Phyllis?
since I was 5.
Since you were 5.
And that's the way I was trained, was what you see is what you play. I do lots
Close your eyes and do it.
other improvisations.
I bet you she could.
Yeah, close your eyes and do it.
You've got
Muscular
so
memory.
much muscle memory that given that space, being like, I wonder if I could do it. Pick any song in the world and just go. Your mind will actually find the right keys. So that's how that gets connected. So you are actually connecting at all points with this. But it happens for everything. Think of it as when you drive a car and you've always been to that grocery store. Let's say you've gone 100 times. Do you think about it? Or do you just get in the car and just drive there? It's like it's automatic. You're like, oh, I know where that's at. I go to here, and I go in here, and I like that parking spot. And you're not have anything. Very first time you went to that grocery store, you had Google Maps up, you had the radio turned down, you weren't stimulated. Where the hell is this place? I have no idea. Is this down this road? Am I trying to make it right? I just moved here in October. I lived in Denver for 17 years. I knew that town. You could say anything. I used to ride my bike into every one of those mountain passes. So I could say, oh yeah, you want to go there? I can get you there. I didn't even have to think about it. I came here, oh my God, I can't tell you how many times I got lost. I would go down the road and I'd be like, I have no idea where I'm at. I didn't listen to the radio. I didn't do anything at that point because my mind wasn't connected to that repetitive nature and what it was. Go ahead, Seth, for the next one. So what happens here is what we're taking a look at is you're basically taking a look at, and this agenda of what I'm going to do today for all of you guys is give you the clearest understanding of why your mind. Let's go back for me. Thank you. That's okay. You go back 2. Thank you. Okay, so basically, we have an identity. That I am statement that you wrote, that is your identity. That is what you believe yourself to be, but it can be a block. Recognize that. Become aware. Become the observer. In that way, no judgment, no shame. It's just, it is. In that moment, we have that identity. Then basically, we are going to access that capacity of the body to be reformed into it. Then we're going to go to the root cause. A lot of things that are within us have a root cause that stimulates that effect. And under stress, you go back to that old one 95% of the time. So then we're going to walk this road and we're going to rebuild the plan. Unless we have a system or a plan, the body goes, oh, you just want the old one again? I'll just do the old way. That's easy. Think of who has kids. You have adults. Did you ever say what your parents said? Oh, I have 2 children. And I remember Henry just in his years. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to leave you in the woods. And there were things that I would say, and I'm like, oh, that's what my dad said. And I told myself I would never say that again. But under that anger and that stress that I had, where did my brain go? Oh, I know what you want to say. They pick the old thing. It didn't come out with something new and creative. It went with the old. And that's what the body does. It's always going to go to the easiest path. And so it takes practice to rewire Your brain, remember, millimeter a day, it's repetition, over and over. And if you tell yourself as you're doing the repetition, you're listening to music, you're unfocused, and you're like, oh man, this sucks, this is never gonna happen. Do you know you just told every cell within your body that's conscious, this isn't gonna work, and all those cells clam up. And they're like, don't do it. This happens with foods that we eat, everything that we do. If I told myself this was gonna be impossible and I have no idea what the heck I'm gonna talk about, my body would just shut down. It would get nervous. It would sit there and say, oh my God, I got another health coach in the room. Her name's Paylin, and she's really smart, and I'm not gonna know what the heck that I'm gonna do and how I'm gonna say this. But that's my mind rewiring, even though I've done this for years. The mind leads that way. The mind directs the body. So next slide, please.
Matt,
Yes.
the difference between I can and I can't is what was in one of the slides, hidden in the slide, but that I can or I can't.
And both of them are right.
You have a pattern of saying about something, I can't do that.
What did Henry Ford tell? What did Henry Ford tell us all?
Pardon?
What did Henry Ford tell us? Right. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. It's not bad. He didn't judge you on that, but absolutely correct. If you think you can do this, you will. Iron Man is 70% mental. So, can you go back a slide for me? Something doesn't seem like, yeah, okay, forward one. Thank you, Seb. So you'd be like, man, I wish your clicker worked. If you give me AAA batteries, I can make this thing work. Okay, so what you're gonna walk away with at this moment, right now, in this current space and time, is that why past approaches haven't worked. And it's not your fault. Just you were never taught this. Also, there is a secret that reconnects the mind to the body. And I'm gonna walk you through it. There's 3 secrets. I'm gonna walk you through them. Seb, go to the next one. All right, does this sound familiar? Think about this in this moment. Have you ever woke up and said this, and you felt exhausted, even though you slept all night long? And you just still wake up and you're like, man, I'm still beat. Is your mobility declining? Like you think of, man, I used to do that last year. It's just not happening now. Have you ever thought, do you avoid activities? I know my mother, she's 71. She stopped skiing. She's a youngster. She stopped skiing. She skied for 40 years. 3 years ago, she hung them up and said, it's the last time I'm gonna ski. Last week, she skied in Aspen. She retrained her mind to connect with that body again. So also, we avoided those activities we loved. We are told to manage expectations, and we often wonder at this moment, is this just it? And we give up. Next slide, Sleb. So, what you may have already tried. So, medications. Doctors are really good at figuring out where your wallet is and get you signed up for every medication that you can. So you have the medication route. Then you have physical therapy, where you're like, oh, you got that, doesn't work, just go to physical therapy. Separation. Then it comes to like supplements and protocols. There's some that are very, very good. But if we say, oh, this supplement is gonna be the one that fixes me, and we only go myopically in that one way, well, that's really all we're gonna get. Then, mindset programs. I've been to so many of them. Man, you feel so good that first week, and then life takes over. I love what a beautiful mentor of mine had said. He goes, if you think you're awoke, go home for Christmas. And he goes, you're gonna find out all the ugly inside, and that's okay in that moment. So go ahead, next slide, Seb. So at this point right now, you might be a skeptic. You might be like, oh, this is great. I came to this talk, this wonderful. This is not bad. This is intelligence. because we've done so many things. We've looked it up. We've gotten that supplement. We've done that exercise. We did this thing over here, and it's great. But if it didn't work, you're like, I don't know. And the mind, remember, the mind is lazy. It's going to go back to the old. Think of how many times you've been disappointed within your life. And if anybody raised their hand and said, I've never been disappointed, I want to sit with you and figure out what the hell you did in that moment. So go ahead to the next slide. So I know what it's like. In 2008, I was an All-American triathlete at the half Ironman distance. That means I was one of the fastest guys in my age group in the country. Swim 1.2 miles, bike 56, and then run a half marathon, all within 4 hours and 45 minutes. The pros were doing it in 4:30. I was on my way to be a pro. What was your fastest of these sports? Biking, 100% biking. I could crush you on a bike. I know, it was like comical. People come out and they're like, I hope my swim is good because I'll never beat you on that bike. A lot of arrogance with, cycling and triathlon. So with that moment right there, in that space, we take a look at it. I looked at it at this moment, and then in 2008, I paralyzed my right leg from the waist down, taking away everything I knew.
How did you do that?
Ooh, I wished it was like a bear coming out of the woods that I fought off. I lived in northern Illinois, and I was shoveling a heavy load of wet snow at about this time of year. And I picked up the heavy snow, went like that, and threw it. I had a lot of anger at work, a lot of stress, a lot of anger. I had young kids, a lot of worry, a lot of fears, and my spine did this. And when that shot those, the discs out, it's like a gel, and it gelled all the way down the right side, and it shut the message off from here to the tip of my toe. And I walked in the house, I drugged the leg in. I'm like, you know what, I'll be fine. I ran 14 miles the day before. I'm like, I'm gonna be fine. 4 months. I went to every chiro. I went to everything at this point. I refused to go to an orthopedic because what do? They bolt your spine together. All right?
Yeah.
Operate on you in that severe way. And I wouldn't go. I'm like, that's terrible. I heard too many horror stories from individuals. And I found a neurologist at that point who did something called a microlaminectomy. And he went into my spine right there and he cleaned every nerve. And he goes, Matt, I'll give you a 50-50 shot. I said, 50 shot, it works? This 50 shot, I don't paralyze you from the waist down. He goes, what you did and what I see in your MRI, this is severe. I'll do my best. I said, Doc, one leg or twos? What's the difference? Exactly, Kathy. It's like, what's the difference at this point? So then at that moment, I had to make a choice. And I walked out of the surgery center. Never thought I would ever do a triathlon again in my life. But that's it in that moment. So wherever you're at, I see you in this space. You're not alone. So Seb, go to the next one.
Where was your anger and your resentment and all that stuff?
That is over a couple of beers and us really just having a deeper conversation. There's a lot of history in there. So yeah. And most of it was directed because of me. So, all from shoveling snow was just the catalyst that woke me up. Now, it took another 10 years to wake me up, but because I'm a stubborn guy. So, at this point, what changed wasn't finding a better supplement or therapy that got me over the finish line at Ironman. What it was, it changed that understanding that our bodies aren't broken. They were just being adaptive. They were just following an old system, an old program. They had reorganized around a perceived threat. You got to remember, your body wants to keep you alive. And that's all it worries about. It doesn't say, oh, Phyllis, you want to play that piano, and you want to go to a concert, and you want to go here, and you want to play in Carnegie Hall, and you want to do this. The body doesn't go there. The body, it's change. And the body goes, no way, I can't do that. This is, and so the body, the mind, begins telling the body at this point. So Seb, go to the next one. Thank you. So what we built, when I say we, I have an incredible partner. His name is David Lyons. He is a National Fitness Hall of Fame winner. He was diagnosed with MS 15 years ago. He has won awards from Arnold Schwarzenegger, all these individuals. His credentials, I talked to him the very first time I met him. I'm like, oh, David, can you send me your credentials? He goes, no. He goes, I don't have enough time to copy all of this and send it to you. So it's extensive. So, but what we built and have helped thousands of people with around the world is that we looked at it at this beautiful space of stepping out of the old, and we're basically inviting you to step into the new. Of those thousands of people, we've had people step out of wheelchairs. We've had individuals that walk again, they regain their function, and they built confidence within them. They realized, I remember the day a woman had told me, she goes, Matt, I no longer care about getting out of this wheelchair. I love my life. And as her deep inside changed, her body changed. 2 weeks later, she goes, you want to see something? I said, sure. She stands up, takes one step forward and one step back. She goes, I haven't done that in 4 years. I said, good for you. Now she's out of the wheelchair, and sometimes she uses a wheelie walker, which is absolutely incredible, or walking sticks. She goes, she walks again because she goes, I didn't need to. I didn't want to. I knew that I was. Her I am changed deeply within her. So we also have over 50 years of combined experience between David and I. And so we've taken all this science, all this stuff, and we brought it together and say, okay, can we help more? Go to the next one, Seb. So the question remains, what actually changes it? Sounds great, right? I mean, you're looking at it, you're like, yeah, this all makes sense. You're remembering, you're like, yeah, this, this all here, all this stuff. Go ahead.
Well, the one spiritual concept that I love is that no matter what happens, if it's something that you want to happen but doesn't happen, there's a message there.
This is the next book I'm writing. It's called The Teacher.
You're looking at, okay, I'm not going this way, but I'm going somewhere. What is it? And
Right.
just stepping back and seeing the possibility of something else.
Right. That's training, though. You've been through this before, Joe. You've gone here. The messages that you remember and that click for you are actually there for a reason, deeply within you.
I think that this group is probably pretty advanced, with their thinking.
Yeah.
And I think what the problem is with me is just the remembering and the forgetting. The remembering and the forgetting, which flows throughout the day.
Remember that lazy nervous system that I was talking about?
Yeah.
That's it. You hit a moment of stress, that it releases adrenaline and cortisol inside your system to keep you alive. Trust me, if you had like a bear that was outside your house, do you go, oh my God, it's so cute. I could touch him and he could bring him in and I could cuddle with him. And no,
chased by a lot of bears.
if you did that, you'd be eaten by the bear. So your body immediately goes into a fight. Now we don't have bears here in Bloomington.
She lived in Alaska for
I know,
100 years.
she had some ugly bears. But here in Bloomington, you don't. But the mind remembers the bear that you experience. But we don't have that. We have cars. When you drive here, I hope nobody ever does this, but if you ever had anybody slam their brakes on in front of you, did you think about the brake lights? Or did you just hit the brake with no thought? You didn't sit there and go, okay, I got to pull the foot up 3 inches. Okay, I'm going to move that over and I'm going to hit that. No, if you did, you'd have hit that car. It was automatic. That's the fight, flight, freeze response within the brain. And so what happens is within it, you also did something else right after it. How about cuss them out? Yeah, and it's automatic. You know how many times, and I was with my kids. I'm driving the car, somebody slams their brakes on in front of me. I've got Henry and Alex in the back. They're 6 and 4 years old. And I am cussing this guy out. I'm stressed at work and all this stuff. And I look in the back and both the kids are like looking at me. In that moment, I'm like, oh, I want to change that. So I'm like, I wonder if I can rewire this. And so it took practice. Some individuals, though, what I was taught 144 times. So what I wanted to do is next time somebody slammed their brakes in front of me, I wanted to blow them a kiss. And so I never got the chance, like right away, like I had done this like months go by. I'm like, man, nobody's gonna slam their brakes on in front of me. I wanted to try it. And so I kind of let it go, and I'm sitting there and I'm driving the car. Somebody slams their brakes on in front of me, and I immediately blew the guy a kiss with no thought. I had retrained my brain. But anytime, it's kind of satisfying when you pull up to a guy in one of those big trucks, and he looks at you, and I blow him a kiss, and he's like, yeah. So, I mean, it was more gratifying for me at that point, at this moment. So go ahead and flip to the next slide. So really what we're taking a look is there's the old way that we were taught. And this old way that we were taught is manage your symptoms, pace yourself, accept that this is progressive, don't push too hard. Next slide. So then as we're looking at this is why the old way fails, is because your nervous system adapts to demand. When you stop demanding it, it downregulates. And then at this point, it creates fragmentation. Oh, I should try this over here, and maybe try this for a little bit, and I'll do this over here, and I don't know, I'll make this sure this works. But that's fragmentation. So this creates gaps. Pieces don't connect. It's like putting a puzzle together, and I hand you 100 pieces of a 1,000-piece puzzle. Are you going to have a picture, or are you just going to have just random pieces, and most of them won't connect? Because it's not actually forming anything within the brain. That use it or lose it philosophy is not a cliche. It's biology within your body. Go to the next slide, please. So, what if you're not broken? What if your body adapted to a perceived threat? And what if that path forward is rebuilding a command center? Next slide, please. So what happens is in this moment, that body-mind transformation method is not just exercise, not just mindset, it's not just diet, it's the integration of 4 powerful elements together. And when you use these 4 and you work them together, and where it comes in is we're taking a look at that first piece, is what nutrition are you putting inside your body? Your body is a perfect machine. Trust me, when you leave here, unless you drive a diesel, you're not putting diesel in that car. But if you do, guess what you get? You get a mechanic visit or a new car. So at this point, that's the fuel that goes into this. Then this next piece that comes into it is signal. Remember, that nervous system's lazy, so send the signal that you wish to have happen. So when we do exercises, when we do anything, we're sending a powerful signal inside the body. But since we're signaling muscles within the body, like for example, right now, if you think about your chest muscle, your pectoral muscle, just think about that. You'll begin feeling that muscle. Even though you're not doing push-ups, you'll feel that muscle within the body. That's the signal that's being sent. And the next one is give it the building blocks. These building blocks is protein. Your body needs that to build strength. It would be like trying to drive your car with no spark plugs in it. You're not going anywhere. So without all the proper things inside and without the building blocks, that car's never going to move. So give it the right things to build your muscles back up. Then the last one is the computer software. That is the mind. The mind directs the body. But if what we've always been told is, you know, when you get over 60 years old, it's all going downhill from here. You're going to start getting sore. It's going to be bad. It's going to be this way. You're not going to do anything. And then you have memories of your past that come into this space. Yes, Joe?
Listen to Pandora and all these commercials that come on, I have to laugh because they're exactly that. They're fear-based. They're saying, over 65, you're going to be able to get this and this and this and that, or, oh, you really need this because that's wrong with you. I mean, it's like,
What
so
are
much
they?
garbage.
They're telling you you're not enough. You're like, oh, because you're 65 now, might as well just write it off and go down to Florida and start playing golf, or, shuffleboard's coming up. No!
Yeah, I know my body is so many years old, but my spirit is not old. I mean, it is, but not
But-
measured that way.
No.
Your spirit knows your truth of who you are,
Yes.
which is perfect. And then it filters down through the mind because you have free will. The mind tells you, and gotta remember, it's not logical thinking, it's subconscious thinking, which is 95% of your thoughts. Science shows this. I could ask you all a question right now. Yes, Phyllis, let me ask this question really quick and I will hit you up when I'm done. You can spend the rest of your day today in fear. If you want that, raise your hand. Wow, no one's raising their hand. Or you can spend the rest of your day today in love. If you want that, raise your hand. Say aye. Yeah. Heck yeah, I want love. Do you know you just lied to yourself? Because 95% of the time, you choose fear.
Doesn't mean we want it.
Doesn't mean we want it, but it shows up. When we are in a safe place, like in this space right here, we are in a safe container. So we choose love. We're at unity. We're like, oh, this is the land of love. That's why we come here. Yes, Joe?
As you're experiencing fear, I mean, I'm noticing more myself. I'm asking myself, why?
So, interesting you said that. I was in a deep meditation 2 days ago, and I kept asking why, why, and my intuition came in and said, stop asking me why. Feel it. Remember, what you tell yourself is what will be. You already are everything you want to be. Everything already exists. You just got to tell it what I want and then start taking steps towards it. That's a whole nother presentation. Phyllis, you had something you wanted to say.
I just wanted to piggyback on what Joe said. I went to a celebration of life service yesterday.
Yeah.
Of someone who was with me at the Indianapolis congregation when I was up there. They seat 250 people in that chapel. It was packed and people standing in the lobby. And one of the poems that was read, and I asked for a copy of it, and they're going to get it from me. The basic line that kept being repeated through the whole thing was, "The body died, not me."
Bingo.
Da-da-da-da-da, the body died, not me. And it's like, oh my God. It was just, I mean, even when you know that, to hear it, 5 times through the entire prayer or poem, whatever, really makes a big impression. The body dies, not me.
Not me. You can't die. It's impossible because you are energy. Think about it. I do know one absolute truth. I'm not going to make it. There's going to time, this body's going to be like, we're done.
Yeah, but the body is not I.
Bingo.
Okay.
You are not the body.
So I'm a mental health therapist,
Mhm.
and I work with people on this very topic.
Mhm.
You've got the ego and you've got the eternal self,
Mhm.
or the wise mind, and
Mhm.
you could be an observer or a witness of the what is.
Mhm.
And so that's just a different language, I think, a little bit.
Absolutely.
So working with the
Same.
automatic thinking
Mhm.
and the thinking errors that people have that they don't even realize, oh, I don't have to or should.
Right.
I'm choosing to.
Right. With no judgment, just become aware.
Right.
wow, I had that thought when I woke up in the morning. That's okay. Be like, well, so then you can ask yourself, what thought do I want?
Yeah, the eternal self says, how can I be 70 when I feel 35 inside?
Exactly. Exactly. But we're told, oh, once you're 70, it's all going to go downhill. So that subconscious mind of fear comes in and starts to drive specifically in this way. And you'll see it play out in various different ways, with no shame, with no guilt, with no anything with that. And you allow yourself to enter into a new space.
I think we hear after 30 is over the hill.
Oh.
We already start getting those messages.
Don't listen to your kids.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, don't listen to your kids.
I wanted to ask you, explain a little more the difference between fuel and bricks.
Yes. Fuel, think of it as an anti-inflammatory. So if you're eating processed foods, that's inflammatory to the system, and so it puts it in an automatic fight, flight, freeze response mode because you may not feel good after you have it. And so now inflammation is happening within the body, and the body can actually, it goes into its own repair mechanism to basically deal with the inflammation that you've put in. So then the bricks happen when you actually start stimulating the muscle and you're sending the signal. That muscle goes, I need something. You just worked me today. I need some fuel. I need a building block right now. And so then that protein comes in as a brick from within you to actually begin growing the muscle. So if I ate McDonald's every day and I worked out I could work out like Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm just never gonna work because the muscle's like I'm starving and it doesn't have anything to build off of. So go ahead and Seb, next slide. Did that answer your question? You're welcome. So why this changes everything. In the past, you had the fuel. You knew what to eat. And then, but maybe you had no system of exercise. Then you had no signal. And then if we have no signal, but no bricks, like the story I was just telling you about, but where we have the bricks, but the software's corrupt. Let's say we have those three lined up, but every time you go work out, you're like, I hate this. This isn't gonna work. I'm never gonna get stronger. You wanna know all that work you did is never gonna work? Because remember, the mind directs the body. Next slide, Seb. So let me show you how this works in all of it. So I'm gonna walk you through 3 secrets. So next slide. So what we're trying to do in this moment is train the bypass, not the blockage. So let me put this into an MS perspective. They had a lesion that showed up in my brain. Actually, 38 of them within my spine and in my brain. And so what happens is the brain, remember, that nervous system's lazy, keeps going to the same way, same path, over and over and over and over again. And it doesn't work. And the brain's like, well, you don't need it anymore. I guess you're fine. It doesn't sit there at any one level and says, oh, I know what you want. So what we're really doing is we are rerouting that nerve signal around the block. If you can reroute it around the block, then all of a sudden it's going to activate and spread throughout the body and get your muscles active again. Next slide, please. This is, the mechanics and the mechanism of it all. So you have the block path, and the signal seeks it, and the bypass forms. So if we're doing this over and over and over again, remember, 1 millimeter a day. So let's say it's got to go 3 inches within the brain. Well, it might take you 3 months. But what do we tell ourselves after a month? That shit doesn't work.
I read that the heart actually does this.
It does. Everything is connected. Yeah. I'm so glad you said that. You know, your stomach has more neurons in your stomach than your brain does. And so when I say that this is a computer system, the computer system is running everything. And every cell is talking to each other. It's actually very beautiful. So when a pathway is blocked, the signal doesn't disappear. It's still being fired. It just is going to the same spot all the time. But at this moment, we are rerouting that signal in your brain and in your body so it activates that muscle again, that strength within you. Next slide, Seb. But for all of this, it requires demand. We've got to tell it. Remember, it's a lazy signal. So we got to say, that's what I'm doing. This is where I'm going. With so much intense focus, it can't make another choice. It goes, okay, that's what you want, and then it adapts in that moment. So think of it this way. If you're driving home today and a tree falls on the road, the main road you're going through, do you call the realtor and just sell your house? You're like, I'm never going to get to this place again. Or do you reroute to you go somewhere else? You down a dirt road, you figure out, oh, this, I can go here and here. Or do you sit in your car for like a day and go, well, I hope somebody comes and fixes this. I hope somebody gets this tree out of the way. No, we don't do that. We find a different way. This is exactly what we're doing. Next slide, Seb. So what this means is, so now that rest and protect that we talked about earlier, that's why this fails. Because we're not demanding our nervous system to go a specific way, to drive it in this space. So when we look at this, when the signal that function matters, the nervous system adapts. So when we tell through the mind, that's what I want. This is where we're going. I'm going to lift this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to work through these in a very systematic way that doesn't hurt the body, that keeps that body in that feeling of safety. Next slide. So then, this is that mind-to-muscle connection. This isn't about exercising harder. This isn't like you sign up for CrossFit and you're like, all right, I'm going to start doing CrossFit workouts. That's crazy. I was a competitor for 3 years. It's the stupidest sport I've ever heard. So it's about that intentional connection. And when you focus your mind on those specific muscle groups, like Phyllis said with the piano, then all of a sudden, those get connected because you are focused upon it. You said, that's what I'm going, that's what I'm looking at. And when you're focusing upon it, you amplify the signal. Yes, Phyllis?
I need to ask a question. Does this mean that you need to know more about anatomy in your body so that you can focus on it?
No, you already know it. But yes, and this is what we do.
Asking,
I-
right, without saying it in the right words, because I'm not quite sure what the right words are, but, you know, and I have I used to do medical transcription, so I have kind of a background in that, but even still, when I'm trying to tell my body what to do, it's like, am I doing it right? Am I telling it the right things?
See, then you have, so then what comes out, what you just showed me was doubt. I'm just the observer. So at the point, you say, man, do I really think it's going to work? And then what happens is that it happens for about, the body doesn't like doubt. And so it goes to the right, and you're like, you know what, this doesn't work. Then you kind of put it off into the wayside. So yes, there is specific training methods to be walked through in a very simple, systematic way and begin training those muscles and that mind-to-muscle connection. That answer your question, Phyllis?
Yeah, I didn't really know how to answer the question, ask the question, so I'm not exactly sure whether it did or not. Sorry.
You actually, no, you actually asked that question very beautifully. So, yes, Palin?
I think I want to share from a traditional Chinese medicine perspective, or specifically Qigong or Tai Chi. Those practitioners, you don't need to do all the bodily anatomy, no. You just put wherever your focus is, the energy flows.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So when you try to, I don't know, maybe you already have, you are aware of some spot in your body that's sore or pain. You don't need to know exactly what organs is that. You just direct your mind to that spot. Energy will automatically go there. All
Yep.
the cells, all
That's what I needed to do.
Oh, okay, beautiful.
So,
Well, That's why Palin's here, because she makes sure everything gets answered very, very well. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm one of at least two therapists in the room. I know that both of us are trained in EMDR,
Mm-hmm.
and all kinds of things are firing in my head with your message. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week, I was training 30 people in EMDR.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that was prevalent among the group was chronic pain.
Yeah.
And there was an EMDR pain protocol that I
Mm-hmm.
did. And I asked for one volunteer, and we were all on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't live right here.
Don't need to be.
And they were focusing on where the pain is. And typically with EMDR, there's a negative belief and an alternative positive belief.
Mm-hmm.
So that's right in there.
Mhm.
And we start working with bilateral stimulation,
Mm-hmm.
which activates the brain,
Yep.
right and left side of the brain. And when I finished with that volunteer, her pain level had gone from 8 to 2.
Isn't that awesome? Congratulations.
And when
What's that acronym
when
start,
we went
stand
back
for?
to the whole group, 6 other people said, I
Well, that's
piggybacked on that process,
Mhm.
and my pain is down.
EMDR is emotional.
No.
No.
Eye
Eye movement desensitization. Okay. There you go.
Eye movement desensitization?
Yeah.
Eye movement,
Desensitization process. Yeah.
So the other thing that this makes me think of is heart math.
Yeah.
And so when you focus on your heart and you bring your mind and your heart together in your focus, it creates a coherence,
Mhm.
which is very powerful.
Right. So you take a look at any injury or something, it's a catalyst.
So, yeah. Then you're the person in control,
Bingo.
your internal self.
Right.
so you were talking about someone getting a diagnosis,
Mhm.
that's a trauma.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 100% trauma.
So EMDR works with that,
Right. Exactly. If the person believes in it.
that's the trick.
I know. That's the trick. But it's not even believing it, it's to know it. You know you're going to breathe right now. Did you think about it? No, you know it.
It's interesting because I ask the person to do their own research on EMDR, bring their questions so that they can have a belief in it.
Mhm. And walks through that. Yeah,
And they want it,
absolutely.
yeah.
But and through that, it's what the ultimate, it's what the mind really is directing. It's that past. Our past is what stops us. That's a whole nother presentation. Yes.
When you were talking earlier, this came up for me because I've had skin cancer
Okay.
and asked the dermatologist, well, what's that from? And she said, well, when you were a child, and I did get sunburned
Mhm.
a lot. And I said, I thought your cells replenish every 7 years, regenerate.
They remembered the
And
old.
She goes, cell memory. So then I started thinking about, okay, if they remember getting sunburned, then they can remember before they were sunburned.
Bingo.
And so that's what I've been
But-
trying to
It,
get
that's,
my mind to.
it's a whole nother process, and that's something, being a master neuroplastician, I guide you through. Because it takes, you have repetition and habit, to all of a sudden you wake up and you just know that you are. There is no thought process like what we talked about with breathing. You didn't think about it. Talk to somebody with COPD. Do they worry about breathing? Yeah. They do. You have thoughts of cancer, skin cancer. And the body remembers the old.
The
So,
sun, what do you mean? It remembers being sunburned?
it remembers that feeling of cancer, the story of what the doctor said. When you, the fear,
Right.
the fear of a diagnosis is crippling.
The fear.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Right.
But then I do believe that cells regenerate. I mean,
Mhm.
it's scientific, right?
I'm going to invite you to take it one other step. Know it. know it. Like, you know that you're going to breathe right now. Like, know it so well that if anybody comes to you on the road or talks to you about it, you're like, yeah, it's done. You don't even want to talk about it. It's like that's the past. It's interesting, and Dr. Joe Dispenza's retreats, he has a really hard time. People that heal at his retreats, and predominantly the people that do heal no longer want to be healed at the retreat, but they won't get on stage and talk about it.
Why?
Because they're like, I don't remember.
I want to talk about the past.
Yeah, they're like, I don't even remember the story.
Yeah, and that's why the I am statement is present. It wasn't I was, or I'm gonna be.
Right.
It's I am.
I am this. That's very powerful. That's a whole nother conversation. So go ahead, next slide, please. So I do have a story. So this is not her real name, because I, protect that. So really, she was at this point right now. Mary sat there at 61. She was using a walker, limited activity, and accepted her trajectory. What happened was she was falling a lot of times too. She had a lot of fear of what was going to happen. So with the safe, targeted, demand-focused mind-to-muscle connection work, she started to rebuild it. And she said, I remember a call that I had with her, and she goes, Matt, I felt my muscle this morning. She goes, that muscle that they said would never activate again. She goes, I felt it. I said, congratulations, of course you did. And so because she was being very specific. Next slide, please. So the takeaway from this secret is that you don't fix the blockage, you build around it. Reroute that piece around that. Your nervous system is adaptive. It responds to demand. So if you don't tell it what you wish to achieve, it never will. It'll follow the old way. And when you train with safe progression, intentional safe progression, the mind and the muscle talk to each other, and it activates. Train the bypass, not the blockage. Next slide, please. So, it needs a spark. You can have the fuel, you can have the building blocks, but without the spark, you can eat the best diet in the world. You can have the protein, you can say, oh, I do all of these things. You have the most incredible mindset. But if you actually don't have the spark to tell the body, which is that training, then the body's gonna be like, oh yeah, I have no idea where I'm gonna go or what I'm gonna do. The reason I'm standing in front of you today, you guys see me walk, it's kind of ugly. But I'm training that mind to muscle connection once again to come into it. I told my body months ago, it is safe to stand. And I can do it. So my body does in that beautiful space. You had your hand raised, Joe.
Yeah, words. As you were talking, the word scared came up.
Okay. Thank you.
And of course, scared has to do with fear, but why? I mean, that's a big trigger for me,
Okay.
being scared. So, somewhere I believe I can do it, but I'm fearful of that power.
Yeah. And that fear runs everything. Because, remember I talked about earlier, your body doesn't want to change. It doesn't want anything new. It wants to go into that central nervous system, wants to go to the old all the time.
I was a runner, because you're an athlete, I was a runner in school. I didn't have a trainer. I was my own trainer, and
Good.
I became the captain of the cross-country team. But I just developed the thing where I ran a mile with leg weights way back in the 60s. And I don't know how many people were doing it back then, but it seemed like, why are you doing that? Because doesn't that make you tired? but it didn't. After I took the weights off, I felt like a deer.
You could
when
fly.
I started running.
No, absolutely. That worked. You train those muscles and those neural connections to pick up a heavier weight through repetition, and your belief at that time is being like, and it's kind of like, it's like what I talk about with athletes is they kind of get into a crazy perspective, is they're like, yeah, I'm going to do that, I can do that, and they come into it with so much knowing within them. They're like, oh,
Right,
I
no
know.
one told me to do that, I just did it and discovered this, but people wouldn't believe me.
Right.
I mean, they would see this
So,
and think
and,
the opposite.
and that was okay.
Yeah.
That was their perspective, and that there's nothing right or wrong. There's nothing with it. It's just like, oh, okay. So what you believed at that moment about yourself was very powerful.
But I also think that I was spiritually guided.
You could have been.
I know I was.
If you allowed it, we are all spiritually guided. Yes.
I see that the spark, I see that more as a spiritual trigger.
It can,
Yeah,
yes.
Because a lot of this model, your whole talk has been based on, to me, maybe I'm wrong, but it feels more like the body is a machine. And I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of medicine is based on the body as a machine. It needs this oil or this drug or this injection. So, and most of us went along with that our whole lives, and now I feel like I've come to the realization that we're organic, we're creation, and the spark is what makes it work. But, you still have to do the work,
Right.
but at the same time, my body is not a machine, so it's the spark that makes it divine.
And from that perspective, it's all, you got to remember, these are just words.
Yeah.
Words are, if I spoke Spanish today, it would just be over on that side. So spark was that is, but even though from a spiritualist perspective, yes, healing is spiritual. But what is spiritual? Spiritual is faith. What did Jesus say? Faith of a mustard seed. But the opposite of that exists too. There's an opposite of everything in this world. There's doubt of a mustard seed. It just takes a little bit. And then it starts to breed that doubt within us.
And, if you have an accident or you wreck your back shoveling snow, but Jesus healed people spontaneously.
A very good point. Jesus healed speech. Was it Jesus that healed them? Or was it?
Their own spirit within them.
Bingo.
Self-healing.
So did
The faith.
they believe? Jesus, when the Roman soldier walked up to Jesus and said, heal my daughter. I know you're a healer, but you can't come to my home because of who you are and because of who I am. And Jesus looked at him and he goes, do you know that I can? And the guy with so much belief said, I know you can. And he goes, well, it's done. It's healed. That statement that we make here, and so it is.
And I am. The I am.
So what is your, no, and that's a whole nother, I'd go for, yes. What do you tell yourself in your I am when you wake up in the morning? Because usually under a moment of stress, we tell ourselves something different with I am. Next slide, Seb. So really what we're talking about is with this spark, what it actually does is creates a chemical within your body called acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is actually a neurochemical that runs into your body, and it'll trigger your muscle without your mind. This is what every professional athlete knows. They don't think about throwing the football when a 300-pound lineman is going to go crush them. They throw the football and they hit it perfectly. They don't think about it. Because acetylcholine, through repetition and practice, got activated into that space. So acetylcholine is going to drive that chemical, is going to go in. So that is that signal that comes into the body itself and says, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Next slide, Seb. So this is why more isn't better. A lot of people, man, when I was in my 30s, more. Let's do it again. Let's go more. It doesn't work. Because if I don't have the right tools within it, more is just going to create more disability, more issues. So really that volume perspective, taking a look at it, is what most programs do. Say, oh, let's get you going, and they go and they hit the same thing over and over, but they don't work on the computer system and the belief. And then if your signaling is compromised and they're not rerouting it, they just keep hitting the same block. And most of the time of what we've heard from individuals is they're like, God, I've done this for years. It doesn't work. Because you keep hitting that same signal over and over and over and over again. So what you need is not more. It's really better signal quality into that space. Better intention, better recruitment within your body. Next slide, Seb. So really, training this signal, how you train matters. And if you can train that signal effectively, specific cues, where your focus attention goes, how you breathe, the rhythm of the movement, directly affect acetylcholine signal production. So for example, when I exercise, my mind is so dialed in and focused on the muscle I'm specifically working. I'm telling my brain, all right, I need this activated. Through repetition, that signal sends automatically with a thought inside the mind. So, that is full intention in what you're doing. This is that demand that I was talking about. Saying, that's where I'm going, that's what I'm doing. With no doubt, with no fears, with no worries. And if you're feeling doubts, fears, and worries, that's fine. That's the work. To start building out that different computer program. So next slide, Seb. So this is the difference you feel. I've had individuals tell me, I feel cleaner. My movements just feel crisper in what I'm doing. I'm not as wiped out after training. I know I can do this. Things that felt impossible last month now feel possible. Next slide, Seb. All that is improved signal quality. So I'll tell you another story of Jill. So she was told she would never lift her leg again. Doctor said, sorry, it's over. That signal got blocked. You're never going to lift that leg. Now we went in and we worked with her, and we didn't try to fix the dropped foot. We fixed the signal quality. And we rerouted that signal. And what it does is really, why don't we spend 3 minutes and really focus our minds and visualize ourselves doing that movement. No music, no distractions, no anything. See yourself as actually doing it in that space. And then bring in the body. Then activate that specific muscle that you're working. Small progressions. This is the journey of 1%. Think of it. If you got 1% better this week than you did last week, then at the end of this year, wouldn't you be 52% better? At the end of next year, you'd be 100% better? 1%. Next slide. Then now comes in second secret. Oh, I'm sorry, not coming into it. This is the takeaway from this secret. Strength needs a spark. You can have everything else in place, but if the signal from the brain to the muscle is weak, progress stalls. Train with intention. Train with a purpose. Anybody that's become a professional athlete, bodybuilder, anything in that space, were so dialed in and focused on what they were doing. Remember the Incredible Hulk? Like the 1970s Incredible Hulk. Lou Ferrigno? Yeah, he was an arrogant asshole. I know his daughter and I know him. And his daughter, for the whole time growing up, would never talk to him because he was arrogant. But when you look at it, he was so dialed and focused on everything he was doing. And he goes into this moment, and he goes, there's a reason why Arnold Schwarzenegger beat me for Mr. Olympia. because Arnold got in his head. They were both equally just incredible bodies. But Arnold basically got in his head.
Psych. Yeah.
Bingo. And Lou holds on to it, and he's like, I could have won that. I could have changed my life. And everybody around him was like, no, you couldn't. Arnold was in your head. Psych. In that moment.
It's the same thing that happened to the Olympic skater.
Got in his head.
Got his own head.
He got it
Yeah.
in his own head.
The female Olympic skater,
The male, was
no, the male got in his own head. The female Olympic skater,
it? The opposite.
bingo. She had so much fun. She no longer cared.
Prepare, and then you let it go.
She let it go, and she danced with so much joy. And what did she win? Did she win a gold medal? I'm being facetious. Yeah, it's amazing what can happen with the mind.
She retired at 16.
Yeah. She climbed.
What a concept.
She climbed Everest. She's got a really. I can't wait for her book to come out. All right.
She did? She climbed Everest?
Yeah. But when the signal improves, so does everything else. All of it is an interconnected system. None of it works independently. Next slide, Seb. So your mind is the map. This is the third secret. Your mind is the map that tells the body where to go. For example, if you want to go to Sao Paulo, Mexico, and what's that?
I said that's where I was born. But it's Brazil.
In Brazil, yeah. Or let's pick a year. You say Cozumel, Mexico. And you're going to drive there. But I never gave you a map. And in your mind, you're like, I don't know if I'm going to go there. I don't know if I can get there. I don't know if my car can make it. Do you think you're going to go to Cozumel? Guarantee you won't. If you want to drive to Seattle, but you have no idea where Seattle is, and you don't have a map on how to get there, you're never going to hit Seattle. And this is what happens to the body. So unless we have the signal and we actually have a map on how we get there, that belief shapes neural pathways influencing physical and mental limits within us. Your identity dictates the challenges you pursue and the effort you invest.
I got a question.
Yes, Jim.
When I was 12, I kept on going to the doctor. When I was young, I didn't know why I was going to the doctor with my mom. And they, hooked me all up and everything. And apparently I had a slight case of rheumatic fever.
Okay.
And so they thought that I should not do anything strenuous and all of that. And so you're 12 and was going to go to high school and stuff, and I tried to be in basketball. Couldn't really, I wasn't coordinated at the time. My body wasn't coordinated. But there was something in me that said something to me, and that's when I started running. It was inside me. I knew I could do that. Maybe I wasn't coordinated, but I had that essence inside me to excel.
Your belief changed. And so
I
when you
always knew it was inside me, but I didn't know how to put it. And I think what it was is that I was working in the deli with this guy and with this local grocery store, and they had these flyers, and I had 2 bags of flyers, and I had to deliver them to each house. So I didn't want to walk it, so I just grabbed a bunch of them, and I kept on going down the street, putting them in.
you ran.
Yeah, and that kind of led me into becoming.
See how spiritually, when we take a look at this, how things lead up to the next possibility, but it's created because you knew you could do it. You had belief that you could do it. And really deep down,
The confident mindset.
bingo,
Your last bullet.
100%. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. No judgment, just as the observer. Next slide, Seb.
It's the little train that went up the hill.
Can I make one comment about that?
Yes.
See, I want people to see.
All right, back one slide. Thank you.
The word mind is capitalized up there. And if you study metaphysics, which is behind unity, the big capital M mind is source mind. It's everything that exists.
That you are.
That's where everything originates. And that capital M mind then devolves down into our human minds, little m mind. But everything starts with that capital source in that divinity, and then we gather our human mind from that divinity.
And you know this. I'm going to tell you guys all something you already know. You are that, Phyllis. There's nothing that you are not. You are the tree outside. You are the air you breathe. You are the light that you see. You are that. That divine mind knows how perfect you are. You are that perfection that's out there. But for us to be actually human beings, to experience, for God to experience life through us and as us, it gets directed through that, but it has to come through the mind. Because if we all knew that we were God, wouldn't this game be over? Would we have any reason
No,
to?
it would be just beginning.
Why would we be here? If you know of your ultimate perfection of everything that you truly are, you'd be like, then God's like, okay, so because really, ultimately, when you look at it, why did God create us? God wanted to know who she was. And she went into that space, and so she created us, and we go through a forgetting, an amnesia, because we are energy. When they studied this, it studied at MIT, that wall back there is vibrating. Everything vibrates. You are energy. You are made of atoms. Atoms are 99.999999999% energy, and only 0.0001% matter. What do we focus upon? You focus on the chair you're sitting on. You focus on the keys on that piano. But
No, I really don't.
see, I'd say, I can't wait till you go to that piano and just play a song, no music. And so, because you can. So it comes into it, we focus on matter. We focus on the body as matter. And it's not bad. It's what makes us human. So really, what is our purpose here? I didn't mean for this to be a spiritual conversation, but really, what is our purpose here on this planet?
To create.
To discover who we really are, which is love, which is to create. But do you know when God creates, do you think God goes out into the universe and goes, I don't know if I got enough material to make this universe. There's not enough light, and it's kind of dark out here. I really don't like it. No, I don't think God does that at all. What does God say? God goes, and so it is. And God just says, and so it is, with no doubt, and says, oh, okay, and it is. You are God, but you get to create here, in your space. And so in that moment, what is your I am that you said so beautifully, Jonah? And so it is. But we get to work with the body. So give it the right fuel, give it the right things to really, you are a beautiful essence of God. Okay, so that's off the spiritual side. Yes.
Yeah, so realization, we're God, we're done here, but it's like, oh my God, you know.
Okay, can I slow you down for 1 second? You said when we're done here.
Phyllis said, if we know that we're God, then we're done here, ready to move on.
Oh, okay. Now, I just wanted to change. It's like, because some people that I work with say, oh, when I die.
No.
Okay. Yeah, then that would be me coaching and saying you already are that.
If we are so evolved and we recognize we are God, well, we all have so much to do. I mean, I just feel overwhelmed with the need of channeling energy to the earth and all the broken hearts that I see. And yeah, so
So, just like I said earlier, does God try to make a universe?
No,
No try.
there is no try. Yes.
Do or do not, there is no try. So let it go. It sit there at some point is, I know, see the light. And what do we say in Namaste? The light in me recognizes and sees the light within you. The healing of the planet, what's going on right now. It really comes into a space of you are one with it all. Remember, you are one with that tree outside, the air you breathe, everything. So we won't, I can never change your thought process.
Be more of you.
Yes, yes. By example, feel this love entering your heart. I actually work people through an exercise of feeling a heart love within them and then expressing that out amongst the planet. There's no requirement because everything is happening for us and not to us. And everything essentially is happening as us and through us. So with this essence, we're allowing this beautiful essence to flow through us. And when we are the light from within, I love what we sang today, the love within me. When we feel this full love within us, we show forgiveness. We see everything from Mr. Moron out there, or I stop calling him a moron because I don't want to put that energy out there. I call him a catalyst. He's helping us evolve as a species.
Take that.
Yeah.
And mine too.
Yeah. And just say, I love you.
Take that.
What did Jesus say as he was hanging on the cross?
Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do.
So, you guys know I was 17 years Catholic educated, went to Jesuit University, and all this? Yeah. And I recovered from Catholicism. So, and then I found, this beautiful community and so many others. And so really, it's really this full essence within us. So did that answer your question? Is this, you notice that it's a little bit of a separation. It's that 1%. So really, I want you to think of it this way. Read the book Dying to Be Me by Anita Moorjani. Beautiful book, if you've never read that. Dying to Be Me. Anita Moorjani. She had cancer in over 90% of her body. After complete organ failure, she died. And she came back and cured the cancer inside her body within 6 months. And she still lives an amazing, if you look her up, she's all around. She's an amazing, amazing woman. She no longer desired to cure cancer. She just went into it. She goes, I know that I'm God. She knows this full essence. She goes, if I die tomorrow, I die tomorrow. If the planet gets healed, then great. If the planet doesn't get healed, then great. We're here to learn. There's a really good book I'm reading now, I Am by Howard Falco. Recommend that one. You guys are gonna know I read like 4 books a month. Yes, Joe? Yes.
I just wanted to say in response to what you said, was our validation doesn't have to come from being able to change anybody. Like specific result. She wants things to heal.
Yeah.
Her heart is very big and sees the pain.
I want to be an instrument.
Yeah,
Be that first
every
within
day.
yourself.
you do that every day.
Constantly, yeah, I'm working on that. But meanwhile, being a channel is part of healing.
It is, but it's fully be selfish.
Through you is helping you.
I'm going to invite you to be selfish. It's only about you.
Yeah, yeah.
See,
But you just started talking about love. Why are you just saying it's all about me?
it's all about you. You are the number one. You are everything in this. No one else. I can't change anybody in this room. You are it. The joy and love you have within you, no one can duplicate. As we be that fully within us, we no longer need to heal the planet because we are the planet. We are everything. So this It all begins from within.
But, I feel such pain about like war and
I know.
bombing and,
That's the human.
okay.
That's the human side, and it's not wrong. But say, okay, I heal me first. You know, everything outside of us is a direct representation of what's inside of us. The universe is a perfect mirror.
So can't we turn the pain into, it's like, instead of feeling the pain of it, is to be the observer of it. And that's what's helped me in what the crisis is going on right now in the United States and around the world, is to be the observer.
And
And-
send love.
And
And
I always
yes.
send this blanket. I have a visual blanket that goes out of my heart, and it goes right on Israel, or right on Iran, or, it's constantly sending out blankets of love.
Love.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Be-
and to be the observer, because if you watch it, it's really easy to get into the pain of it all, which I've done over and over, and I go, do I want this, or do I want to feel, observe, send love?
And you
Recognize it,
Yeah,
yes.
and
Yep.
bring that love within your heart.
yeah.
You are everything you already wish to be is done. Yes, Joe. Oh, I'm gonna do. Yeah, go ahead. That's fine. Doesn't matter.
Because it was going back to what you were talking about with our physical bodies and seeing ourselves as capable and the message and spark. So I just wanted to share with you all that I have a daughter with a genetic diagnosis who's disabled.
Mhm.
And I have, in terms of like mindset, in terms of how I see her and view her
Mhm.
with her disabilities and her
Mhm.
challenges.
Mhm.
This is all terminology, right, that we learn. Every Sunday, after every Saturday and Sunday, she does Special Olympics. So she does
Awesome.
Olympics, soccer and bowling.
Mhm.
And in fact, I'll be going this afternoon here shortly.
Good.
And then I get to be around this entire group of
Mhm.
athletes who are doing
Mhm.
Special Olympics soccer. And I get to see, so they are role modeling for me
Mm.
what you're talking about.
Right.
And they're
Isn't that awesome?
won last summer, they won actually the state competition.
Awesome.
And they are capable and able, and it's a beautiful thing to see. I just wanted to.
It is. And so, everything that comes into our life is a teacher to show us who we really are, to have us open our hearts. This is why I stopped asking God for patience. He just kept giving me more opportunities to be patient because I was wanting patience within my life. I wanted healing within my life. And God's like, all right, I got to give you more examples to heal yourself and give you more of these opportunities over here until it's under complete surrender. I said, okay, if it works, great. If it doesn't, great. I'm going to get another chance. I am infinite energy. Energy is never destroyed nor created. I have always been and I always will be. You have always been and you always will be. And in this lifetime, you had a beautiful opportunity to have an incredible daughter that you got to be inspired through. And then it's so much fun with all of that kind of stuff. For a period of my life, I work with autistic handicapped children. So as a behavioral therapist, and it was absolutely beautiful. So, yes, Joe.
I'm not sure why I'm asking this question. I am and I'm not. Physically, when I'm doing something and things are connecting,
Mm-hmm.
what's an indication for me that I'm on the right path or I'm doing the right thing? My hairs stand up.
Yeah, it's a signal.
And I don't know how many people have that experience.
If you, hold on, Joe.
Excuse me?
If you ever had a decision that came in and you had like a pit in your stomach, it didn't feel
I
right.
don't get that as much as.
Hey, when you were younger, maybe you had a pit in your stomach, that was your body telling you, don't go here.
Yeah.
Why does muscle testing work?
Well, intuitively, I mean, I won't do something and not knowing what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm in the flow of something and
Mm-hmm.
my hair
Right.
on my arm just stand up, and I'm just feeling that tingling.
Well, you remember, your energy. You just activated energy. This is why I love Qigong. I do Qigong every morning. It's because you're actually moving energy throughout your body, and you're being a conduit of that energy as it flows through. And you, when you are in flow, you've let go of things you have to do, and you are just in flow, and you are having acetylcholine raised within you. So go ahead and Joe, go to the next slide. We're going to be here all afternoon.
Yeah, I want to say something quick about
Yes.
to Yara. I was a special ed teacher when I started out my
Sure.
education in 1972, in the Neanderthal days of special ed. And it was the thought of Down syndrome children was, here's their IQ, this is what they can do. But as research developed, they realized that expectation was the key for Down syndrome children. And they could go as far as your expectations allowed them to go. And all of a sudden, Down syndrome children were doing amazing things. And it was all based on expectation. And so the whole, and what a beautiful,
You want to take it another level?
evolution.
You want to take it another level? Listen to the telepathy tapes.
Oh, yeah. Really good
Oh my God. You get to like episode 6 and you're like, oh, are you kidding me?
I sent you the
Yeah. All nonverbal autistic kids are telepathic.
I'll have to look and see. Yeah.
It's really quite like amazing and beautiful. Are they really? Telepathy tapes is making a movie? Yeah. It works. It exists. For us to evolve as human beings, it's in this telepathic nature of love. And so this is our experience of what we get to see. So this is the identity trap. As we were talking about, your identity is so powerful. Your I am statement. There's a reason why I started the company Identity of Health. Because your identity shapes your reality. What you think, you become. Think of it as like, best way I can describe this is think of it as like you are a genie. There's an internal genie within you. And if you say, I want this, money, like I want $1 million. Genie goes, your wish is my command. But what happens is when you say that maybe you have an internal script of your subconscious mind that's like, that's impossible. My mom said that, money doesn't grow on trees. And, that's never, and only lucky people get this. And Genie goes, oh, okay, so you're not going to get it. With no judgment. Genie doesn't go, well, you've been a bad girl today, so we can't do that. No, Genie doesn't do that. Genie's just always delivering exactly what you are putting out. So in there, what is your identity around this? Next slide. Thank you. Your belief becomes biology. And so what happens is how this all works is when we're starting to craft this biology, what we are going to trigger is BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. This is like miracle growth for the brain. And this is what starts that signal that I was telling you about. This is what's going to stimulate that signal to move to the muscle, to actually grow that belief and knowing that you can.
You think Michael Fox has been doing that because of his
ALS? Or no, Michael Fox had Parkinson's. Yes.
Because, some people die within
Exactly.
3 years. He's been going on for
Right.
20 or so, and he's fighting it really incredibly.
Is he fighting it or is he allowing it? So this is what I do. So is when we take a look at the words, we want to say, oh, I'm going to crush it. I'm going to fight. Well, fight just creates more fight.
Well, I guess maybe it is
I
interesting
completely
about
get it. I'm giving you a
words.
hard time, Joe.
No, it's about words. He's not accepting what is told him that it's going to be.
Bingo. He accepts his own possibility and he becomes aware in those moments and allows it to flow through him. And I bet you Michael J. Fox has a moment at this moment, and I don't have him in front of me. He's not here in this room. Kind of how awesome would that be? I'd ask him about Back to the Future a ton. So really is going through those moments, he allows it. And at some point, I bet you he could tell you if I die tomorrow, then I die tomorrow.
I really love your point, fake it till you make it. So you can release it by doing, and then your belief can follow that.
Yes.
And so that's how people can get started.
Yes. It's kind of like the fuel. I'm going to take it one more level,
Okay,
John.
yeah,
Be it till you make it.
yeah.
You don't have to even fake it, just be it. So like when I look at this moment, to be standing here right now, to speak in front of these you beautiful, amazing souls in this moment, I first was being it. I was in deep meditation this whole week. I saw myself standing up here. I saw myself being it in this moment. I saw myself embodying this space, delivering this new presentation. I just built this presentation. As you can see, I turn around every once in a while to read it. I'm still memorizing it and all these things. So, but to be it. Do you guys really listen to the words that I say? And the stats show that you actually only will remember 7% of what I will say today.
No, I took notes.
You took notes? Wonderful. I'm so glad you guys took notes. Awesome. I'm saying, and you can go, Matt, you said this. I'll be like, oh, I said what? And so it's in being it till you make it. You guys will have a feeling at the end of it. Whether I'm right or wrong, it doesn't matter. There is no wrong. 100%. There is no right, there is no wrong, there just is in that beautiful space. All right, next slide, Seb. So really, I'm going to turn around and read this one. All right, so then, if you wait to feel better, well then, are you really faking it till you make it or being it till you make it? No, you're not. You're just thinking about, oh man, someday I'll feel better and I'll start doing this. Well, that's a misnomer. It's never going to come, and you're never going to activate that and stimulate that piece. And you don't take action. You almost like pause your entire healing process. You're like, man, I know Paylin's got this great protocol. She's going to get me healed. But man, when I get over this current sickness that I have, a cold, a flu, or all of that, then I'll give her a call. Well, next time never comes.
Step before that I find people do, I'll be happy when.
Oh, that's it. Just, and it's their belief. You know what? When this happens, when I walk again, do you know how many clients go, you know what? I will start your program when I can stand up out of my wheelchair. Yeah. Well, you know what? Your body's just going to keep remembering the old over time. And I go, well, then you're going to continue to get exactly what you got. And that's okay. As the observer, with no judgment, you look at it and you're like, oh, that's what my mind believes. Well, that's kind of silly. I wonder if I can start retraining my mind and the thoughts within it. And then as it goes, if we're constantly doing the same thing and expecting different results, didn't Einstein say that's insanity at that point?
Oprah said that.
What did you say?
Oprah said it too.
Oprah said it too, yeah. Well, Oprah is actually very,
Einstein came first.
yeah, Oprah is actually very brilliant. If you follow Oprah's story,
She is
oh, brilliant woman. She was so, like, I'll go here. In 1982, she went to her newsroom in Atlanta and said, I want to be a pundit. I want to be like a Phil Donahue. She's a black woman. In 1982, they laughed at her. They're like, this is never going to happen. Yeah. And she goes, I'm moving to Chicago. And they're like, that is such a tough market. They're like, good luck. And her dad, she called her dad. She goes, Dad, I'm moving to Chicago. And he goes, you know what, Oprah? You have such a good job down there in Atlanta. You just keep working that job and make as much money as you can. Don't worry about it. You don't have to be on TV. Imagine if she listened to her dad, where we'd be at today. Okay, so next slide, Seb. So then, what we're taking a look at is that identity is now begin shifting. So when we shift that identity, what you're actually doing is when we exercise in a very effective way that you can do, in that mindset, so then what happens is you start to see success. Then we recognize it. Then that success Bleeds into another step. You see it, you tell yourself, I recognize it. Oh my God, I'm getting a little bit better. This is actually working. I'm actually running. I'm actually doing these things. And very slowly, you are rerouting that mind, and then the body begins to believe something different. Remember what I talked about earlier as 1%. But recognize it in that moment. Something I do with all of my clients when you're a part of my program is on Mondays, we set the intention. We set that direction where you're going. And it's usually, and I coach you to go really small step. So let's say I have somebody that comes into this space, and they're so upset after the diagnosis. And they're like, Matt, this week, I just want to tell myself I love you when I wake up. I said, that's a great win. I said, that's where that direction. I said, let's become aware of just every time your mind doesn't tell you that it loves you. And so in that moment, and I remember, and then on Fridays, we all come back together and we celebrate the win. We recognize it. And then what happens is they start changing and rerouting and remapping their mind. And I remember when I teach people mirror work, I remember this one woman I was working with, she comes in, I said, okay, what we're gonna work on this week is mirror work. I said, every time you look into yourself in the mirror, and I know you gotta go to the bathroom later on, you're gonna be in the bathroom, look in the mirror, in your own eyes, look deeply within your eyes. Put your hands upon your heart and say, I love you, and fall in love with yourself. After 1 week, I asked her, I said, how's it going? Tell me what you've been noticing. She goes, Matt, I go into the bathroom, I get in the bathroom, and I look at the mirror, and I'm like, love you. After a couple of weeks, she gets on the call, tears coming down her face. I honor tears. Tears are a gift. They're such a beautiful, energetic gift. And tears are falling down her face. I said, tell me, what are you noticing? She goes, Matt, I'm starting to cry. I fell in love with myself. And she goes, I was standing there, and it must have been for 5 or 10 minutes. She goes, I studied. I didn't realize that my eyes were that beautiful. I didn't realize the essence of everything within me. She didn't heal. She loved. And she found it. She found this within her. But it wasn't that she was looking for it. She allowed it. She realized that she already was that within her. Look at how much we in our lives they go look for different things within our lives, realizing that it's already deeply within us. I remember working with my mentor years ago, and I said, Roger, I'm struggling. Like, what the heck is going on? He goes, Matt, it's already within you. I said, Roger, I'm going to push you down the stairs next time we're together. I'm like, this is absolutely ridiculous. And so I pushed back against him, and he just smiled and laughed. He is a very beautiful man. And I realized he's right. It's already within us all, with everything. So next slide, 7. So last story, I promise. This Dana's story. So Dana, she was depressed and hopeless and couldn't remember the last time she felt like she felt better or felt like she could be anything. I remember her being on the call with me, and she goes, Matt, take me now. I don't even want to be here anymore. I want to reset. But through these small steps of that 1% progression, little different minds started to emerge from within her. And one thing she woke up and said, I wake up, I want to do this. Like I'm feeling like a hope rise within me. And if even it was just a little bit, she kept building that further and further. And then really, that developed within her. And now when I speak to her, I'm actually at the end, during the call, I'm like, all right, so Dana's here. I'm going to get off the call. Dana's going to take over the call. She's got it. Right. And she just laughs. And she tells me, she's like, man, I don't even want to heal. This has been the greatest gift I have ever received in my life. I ask my clients all of that before they begin. I said, if I could take MS away, snap of a finger, and everything of your past went with it with that snap of a finger, the whole diagnosis of MS, the experiences, the lessons you have learned, everything with it, I said, would you? Every one of them says the same answer. No way in hell. This is the greatest life I've ever lived. MS then doesn't have the stronghold upon them anymore. So next slide, Seb. We're almost done, guys. So second three takeaway is your mind is the map and your body follows. If your identity says I am fragile, your nervous system will then protect fragility. If your identity says I am someone who builds capacity, your nervous system will support that instead. Remember, what you tell yourself will be within that space. Next slides, Seb. So how many of these apply to you? I'm going to read some of them on just as an observer. This just create awareness. Go ahead, next slide. You wake up exhausted regardless of how much you've slept. You've lost mobility and strength despite physical therapy. Avoid activities you used to enjoy you avoid activities out of fear. You feel disconnected from your body. The signal feels fuzzy. You tried multiple approaches, but nothing created lasting change. And if you wonder at some moment when you wake up, if this is just the way it is, am I stuck? And then we begin to live that same similar pattern. Next slide, Seb. So what if the pattern reveals it's not a willpower problem? It's not a wrong diet problem. It's not a diagnosis is too severe problem. It's a command center problem. What you tell yourself is coming to be within your body. The body is just a direct representation of what you believe in here. Remember that quantum mirror that I was talking about? It's perfect. So observe yourself in that moment. Wow, well, it's that one. With no judgment. Next slide, Seb. So then, it's that integration between those pieces. So maybe you've improved your fuel with an incredible diet, but without the signal, your body has nothing to do with it. It's like, oh, okay, it's great, feel good, but you wanted to walk. Okay, there's no fuel within there. So, but maybe you've worked on mindset. But without physical demand, thoughts don't translate into biological change. You gotta remember, we're still biological machines. Right now, this is the beautiful side of being a human, is that we are a machine. And I have a tough time even making that statement.
Yeah, I have a hard time with the word machine.
Yes, I do too as well. And that's where it's something that is, as I do this again, I need to find a new word for machine. So, but maybe you've exercised, but without the intention. We are an organism.
We're a living organism.
But that organism lives off of the fuel, the signal, and the demand that you're putting towards it in all these spaces. If you don't give it the signal, it's never going to go anywhere.
But it's not separate. So you
It's one in the same.
You know that little game you can play that's called whack-a-mole?
Yeah.
Like pops up and then it's gone. Pops
Smack
up
it,
and then-
yeah.
Yeah. So if you think of us, there's this huge field, and everything's connected, and it's all bioenergy, right? We're whack-a-moles for a time, right? We're that eternal self that becomes for a while, that's part of the field, an organism, and then when we're done, we go back. Whack-a-mole. Look, here I am!
And where does the mole come from? It comes from our past. But it's all part, we are all in, and you said it so beautifully. We're all one. We're all interconnected.
We're all connected. Everything's connected.
Right.
So I'm a whack-a-mole right now.
So everything that comes in is just an awareness moment.
Right.
You're like, oh, God, I had that thought when I woke up this morning. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
doesn't go, it's
Yeah.
changing your I am. And your I am is a subconscious script within the body. Now, subconscious is just your past. Trained memory and thought. It's not bad.
It's
It's
quantum physics.
It's always there to bring that awareness. To say, ooh, work on that piece right there.
Yeah.
So we're noticing that we're upset. I have one great story. I was doing this work, and I was having a bad day. I was beating myself up. I'm sitting there, I'm just like, God, this is stupid. Why do I do this? This is crazy. I had a couple bad situations that week with clients, and I'm like, man, it just didn't come about. Maybe I need to go get another certification or go to more training. And all this. I'm beating myself up. I'm really under this essence. If you actually read the book Metaphysical Anatomy by Matt Rowe, MS is the diagnosis of feeling as if you are not enough. But every once in a while, under a state of stress, guess what I go back to? When I was a very overweight kid at 12 years old. It doesn't go to the athlete, Matt. It goes, I know what you are. But it's not truth. It's just memory in that space. So in that space right there, I'm feeling terrible. I go to the gas station. I pull my truck into the gas station. And I'm going to pump. And this guy, like right after I pulled up into the pump, big black, like Ford F-250, big tires, pulls in behind me. He's got a big beard. He looks like a biker that could tear my arms off me and beat me to death with him. And he is cussing me out. He is screaming at me. You took this pump. I was here before you. I was the next one. And just rah, rah, rah. And I fill in my gas. Finally, it dawns on me. He's just being a direct representation of what I am inside. And I looked at him, and he's like looking at me to like yell at him, and I thanked him. I said, thank you so much for making me aware of how mean I've been to myself. You get a big biker guy and you tell him that, he was just like, didn't know what to do. He just got in the back in his truck and shut the door. He's like, I have no idea who the heck I'm in front of. And at that point, I didn't want anything from him. But I was like, thank you for being that awareness from within me in that moment. To come into that space, essentially, what you're talking about. Everything outside of us is a direct representation of what we may be feeling inside of us. So, now, go ahead, next slide. So what changes is that the energy stabilizes. The mobility and strength begins to improve within your body. Your confidence returns and the future opens from within you. But you're directing it. You are the master. You are the creator of every existence and reality within you. Next slide. But here's what I can't tell you. What is your specific breakdown? You guys are all incredible souls, but we're all different. MS is different for every one of us. So anybody that tells a story of, oh yeah, my sister-in-law or this person had MS, well, that was them. It's not me. And it's not you. It's not, I don't know what happens in Phyllis's world. I don't know what happens in your world. I don't know what happens in your world. I don't know what happens in your world. So that gives us a beautiful opportunity to find it, to find the gap, to find the piece. And let's put the right puzzle piece into this. Next slide. So what I've observed is that walking unassisted, people told they'd never walk again, they're walking. Training consistently, people who'd given up on exercise. I remember this incredible woman. Actually, okay, it's my mother. She's 71. You met her yesterday. She told me, I'm overweight. This is never going to work. I'm just done. I'll never ski again. I'll never do anything of this again. I can't work out. She told herself she couldn't. She had done everything. I got her working out in November. She skied in Aspen last week. Her whole belief cycle changed. I can't tell you, when I wake her up in the morning, I'm like, 6:30, we're working out. She goes, okay. She now comes down with a smile. And she's like, oh man, this is going to be a good one. I like this. And yesterday when we did a workout, she goes, that was a good hurt. Whew, that felt good. Her entire mindset has directed now her body. So then they're reclaiming their identity of who they are. Healing from dis-ease. When I say that I am a healer, I'm healing mind, body, and spirit within you. I am, said so beautifully. I am healed. I am enough. I am love. I am safe. Fill the blank. So I was going to ask you that earlier. What's your I am? I don't need an answer, and especially within this group.
That's okay. So when I wake up, so there's this movie with an Israeli or Palestinian woman, I can't remember which one, but there's a lot of stuff about it. She played Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
And in that movie, there's an opening scene where all the women were walking very confidently and they were doing all the things. And they just walked as if they were gods, goddesses, and they knew that.
They knew it.
And then Wonder Woman came to Earth, 3-dimension, right? And she walked around, she was so perplexed because these people were acting like they weren't gods and goddesses. What is the problem here? Anyway, long story short, I envisioned that woman in the way she walks when I wake up and go, yeah, I'm her.
How awesome is that? I love, love, love that.
I could remember her name.
Well, at this point, it doesn't matter because you are her. You're like, yeah,
So
I am this. I am this.
I am.
There's no like doubt. There's no fears. There's no worries. I am that.
Well, doubt does show up.
Ooh.
Still working on that.
But you have awareness of it.
Yeah.
That doubt actually shows up as a gift,
John Travolta,
as a teacher.
that music with John Travolta. You know how he's walking.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, doing his John Travolta, scan along across there. Yeah, absolutely. But really, everything that comes in that is against, or is that different, or that negative thought, it's not negative. It's a teacher that comes into our lives. This is the next book I'm writing. Is that it is a teacher within us. We honor the teacher. So, for example, when you teach music, do people yell at you when you try to teach them music? They've been upset because they're frustrated in that moment. But really, the teacher is honored. You're honored as a teacher because of what you do.
You have to meet people where they are.
Bingo.
The way you want them to
And that's,
be. Meet ourselves where we are and go rise to the level that we desire.
next slide. That's what we're getting at right here, is let's build the plan. Let's figure out where you are at right now. Let's figure out what is the next powerful step for you. It's there. It's within you. So let's help you find it.
And believe it.
And know it. So much. Like you know that you are Wonder Woman. You know you are one of those powerful Indian women just there in flow as she walks. You smile right on your face because you know it. All right, next slide, Seb. So what I know for certain, if a signal can be sent, if you can send a signal from your brain, means it's still active. Means you can. Means you can bring that in. The nervous system responds on demand. We sit there with so much intention and so much focus. That's where I'm going. That's that moment that you have when you wake up in the morning. There's so much knowing within you, and that beautiful, and you bring that essence of love and confidence within your heart. When you address the right systems in the right sequence, the body will respond. You are a perfect organism. So let's train the organism. So she finishes taking. Seb, next picture. Next slide. Okay, so what you've learned with the 3 secrets is train the bypass, ignite the spark, and rewire your identity. All right, next slide. So, but everyone is different, as we've talked about. You're different than me, you're different than me, you're different than me, all of it. There isn't one set way, but there's your way. So let's find your way and have it really begin changing everything within your body. But where do you want to go? What do you wish to see? You guys ever watch the Arnold Schwarzenegger documentary? Watch the first one. There's 3 of them. Second and third one are just kind of like whatever. First one, his father was abusive. He's living in Austria. His father used to be a past German soldier in the Nazi army.
Oh, whoa.
And his father was abusive, and so it got to a point, his mother shipped him to a monastery in Austria. But the guy in the monastery had weight equipment. But then Arnold started to hang all these pictures of all these bodybuilders in his room. And he started to see himself as that. He's like, that's where I'm going. This is what I'm going to do. He had so much belief. Then he went and won a European competition. And then you know what happened to Arnold after that. Yeah. His mind was so dialed in with what he was doing. He was so focused. It's actually really beautiful, that power of that mind. All right, next slide. So let me ask you, does it make sense now? Everything I talked about. Why approaches that fragment, or those little steps that we take, why they don't really work. If we separate things from within us, remember, we're one piece. So can you see how they work together to create this beautiful demand within your body? And do you understand why waiting until you feel better doesn't work? Next slide, Seb. So, at this moment, on your sheet, I wanted to change that question from before. Who's your limitless self? There's an infinite number of possible realities that exist right now in this infinite universe. So which one do you want? Be it, do it, and see it. All right, next slide, and we are almost done. All right, the recap is your body isn't broken. Neuroplasticity means new pathways are possible within you. Signal quality matters more than volume. Identity follows evidence. And integration creates transformation. One more slide, Seb. Thank you, guys. You're so welcome. Give me one more slide, Seb. Oh, that's the last one. That's it. I finished this deck at midnight. So, yeah. Thank you.
So Kay had to go.
That's fine.
And
We
so
were almost
I'm
done.
gonna step into her shoes and say, thank you, Matt.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for bringing this information here, and especially for giving us the space to talk about our unity beliefs and to connect
Yeah.
with this information. I think we connected well.
I loved it.
easily.
He's like a giant cheerleader.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
can be,
Thank you
yeah.
very much for bringing you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This was wonderful. Really
Good.
wonderful.
Thank you. I send so much love to all of you. And to have you in this space and for giving me this opportunity is a gift to my soul.
Well, we're glad to have you.
So thank you.
In many, many ways.
Well, thank you.
Do you have a card?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I want to give it to somebody. So.
Yeah, I'll hook you up.
Here's the chairs back.
All right. So yeah, we went way over, but yeah.
I'll tell you about it.
Okay. Yeah, Anita, read that book. Anita Moore.